You could have a successful financial project, finish on time with a happy owner, and you hurt somebody on your job. That's a failed job in my mind.
We've helped hundreds of clients build better construction companies.
We love this business, we love the people, and we've seen what running a successful, profitable business takes.
And we're sharing it all with you here on Construction Hot Takes.
I want to jump right in. Top 5 reasons construction projects fail.
There's more than 5 is the first answer.
Well, this is for the
500.
top five out of 100. So the top reason, people did not read their contract or the contract documents. Top that.
But you know what? We actually have to define fail, because fail can mean a few things. Fail could mean the job doesn't get finished, or fail could mean you failed.
Yeah.
You lost your shirt and because
you didn't
finish someone finished, but not you.
And I would say,
or did the building fall down? That's a failure.
Right. That's not,
and I would say
two things.
all 3 of those root causes, somebody didn't read their contract.
I think you could read your contract and suck at pouring concrete. Both could be true.
I think you could read your contract and your budget
But
is
the
so
contract
bad.
does explain how to test your concrete before you build the whole building.
That's-
Usually the specifications are part of the
That's a
contract
third-party
documents.
thing.
No, it says there's break tests and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
but the third party does that.
Sure, but somebody didn't read their contract and somebody didn't follow through on the contract.
Somebody-
maybe it's
true.
somebody didn't follow their contract or
You
didn't
could-
follow the contract documents.
You could also read your contract down to the letter and your budget sucks. And
Yeah, it could have been poorly estimated.
and the contract tells you what's about to happen to you because
Well,
it
then,
lays it out.
well, then it sounds like the estimator didn't read the contract documents very
That's-
well.
So all right, I'll go with
Could be.
universally. If we're only talking about contractors, maybe there's a list. If we're talking about the total, there's an owner, there's an architect, there's a contractor, there's subcontractors. Looking at the totality, I will take your didn't read their contract.
Or didn't follow their contract.
Didn't follow the contract. So the engineer, maybe it's a bad design. Maybe they didn't design it well.
he didn't follow
God
his
forbid the
engineering
building
contract
falls down.
very well. Yeah.
Maybe the
Well, that
maybe
sounds
the
like
maybe the
there's
contractor
sufficient-
estimated it wrong. Well, yeah, but
Sure,
the project failed is my point.
sure.
But if you're thinking about it just purely from a contractor standpoint, you could rattle off 5 pretty quick. You got a bad estimate, you got a bad schedule, bad management.
Yeah,
You could have a great schedule and a great estimate and manage it into the hole. That's happened. I've lived those jobs.
Yeah.
And what else could be there? Bad quality. That could be kind of fit under management. Like you could do a pretty good job on time and be under budget, but then you put a crap
you
in
didn't QC
place.
your work as you're going, and the punch list drags out for years, which I've had to deal with on a project once before.
You could. Here's a controversial one.
But it all went back to not following the contract documents.
You could have a successful financial project, finish on time with a happy owner, and you hurt somebody on your job. That's a failed job in my mind.
That's my point, right? Failure, it means a couple things here. So
But
did they
get
you
injured?
can fail for a lot of reasons.
Did they get injured because of negligence? Because somebody didn't follow their contract?
I don't
No.
know. I don't think
Someone
that
could-
matters. You
Like barricades? weren't
Someone
put
could
up
have
where
a
they're
heart
supposed to be?
yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, you could
But
have.
a
There's a
heart
lot.
attack.
There's a lot of reasons why somebody could.
If somebody had a heart attack.
I was on a
just
job
because they were-
site where a guy had a heart attack and fell into a piece of machinery and got really
Wow.
serious. The job had to, got shut down, and OSHA had to come, and it was completely faultless. But if that guy had a heart attack in the
It's a
car,
very morbid conversation
No, but-
all of a sudden.
but-
Can we talk about 5 reasons construction projects succeed?
It's the.
that's not on the board. So no, we can't.
It's just the alternate reality of why they fail. It's all the same reasons.
Great estimate, great budget, good owners,
Good management.
skilled
Quali-
people,
a clean
great
job,
weather.
a safe job. You get good quality.
Clean jobs, a happy job.
It's interesting because we're coming at this from different perspectives, GC versus sub. Back to your point, a great job for a GC can be a terrible job for a sub. A success for a GC, the job gets done, they make their money, they
And
go
vice
on to the
versa.
next and vice versa. And the sub lost his shirt and got cleaned out, and they had to bring someone else in, but they still got their job done on time.
I
It's
know
relative.
about jobs where the general contractor was kicked off the job and the sub stayed and they moved him over to a new GC.
And they probably did great. They made their budget, the job got done.
I always kind of operated with this idea that as the general contractor, that's my background, that if my subcontractors, one could fall on his face, one could fall down, and the job would still be okay. Depending on the sub, there's a couple that at critical times in the job are way more important than others. We just critical path and all that. But generally, if they weren't making money, I wasn't going to, because we didn't self-perform virtually anything. So we relied completely, and a lot of GCs do this, we relied completely on our 16 or 17 or 18, however many divisions they have nowadays, our 15 to 20 subcontractors. We relied completely on them. Our job was to, coordinate, schedule, et cetera, to make everybody successful. And if they didn't, I certainly wasn't going to make money.
I'll come at it from the sub side and say the main reason a subcontractor fails, the top reason it fails, is a bad budget, a bad estimate.
I would counter that.
It's a good place
lose
to
money, you
start.
can't finish a job and you're out of cash.
And I would counter that by saying the budget could be fine, but the management of the labor forces didn't push the workers to produce as estimated, or overstaffed the job, or didn't have good quality. They had to keep going back and redoing work, which ate up dollars because it's
Every
labor
time you
hours.
mobilize,
As a self-performing subcontractor, your biggest risk is labor. It's usually 50 to 70% of the cost of the job, depending on if you're supplying materials and equipment or if you're a labor-only sub. It's even a higher percentage. Labor is the biggest risk. I wrote an article about that 9 or 10 years ago. It was one of the first articles I wrote. It was all about controlling project labor, because that's your biggest exposure, your biggest piece of risk as a self-performing
and your biggest variable, because you're saying if you have to mow and demo back to the contract, there's a million. But then conversely, as a subcontractor, the top reason that a project succeeds is if you go into a project with a gross margin of X and you get that number and you demo once and you have a happy client and you go and you roll on to the next job and you don't even have to think about that job again. To me, that's why it succeeds, because you've left the site and you've gone on to the next job.
So I've got a question for the two of you, because you both have a subcontractor background. When you sign on to the general contractor's contract, what is your expectation as far as their competency for the schedule and the deal they cut with the owner?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Insert laugh here.
Low confidence.
Okay.
I would rather bet in Vegas than bet on a general contractor.
Okay.
In my experience, on those
Because
points.
Honestly, I come at it from an entirely different perspective.
I've worked with great ones and I've worked with really bad ones, and the bad ones just push everything downhill and take no responsibility, and the great ones actually get paid and earn their fee by managing the project, coordinating, making things accessible, looking, as you like to say, looking around corners, getting things cleared out, making sure the sequencing is done properly.
Right.
They schedule it. They meet regularly. They are quick to push architects to get information back to the subs when we need it for RFIs, get clarifications on things. They actively earn their fee.
So all
Most
of
general contractors, in my experience, are not that adept. at
So all
those.
of that sounds like me running a job. So that's why I asked the question.
Yes.
I don't know how to do it any other way.
Right. Well, that's why I enjoyed working on your projects.
But a great GC that you've worked with 10 times before and it's gone well could have a PM that's kind of green or new and he or she's bad. Or a terrible GC that you loathe, to work for. You're like, okay, we'll take this job. All the red flags are up, but you get a great PM and it goes well. It's kind of relative. There's the GCs you work for all the time. But every time, to answer your question, every time's a little bit of an unknown.
We have played the 80-20 principle.
Yeah.
Like 20% of the time 80% of the time you get the results you expected, and 20% of the time are
Good
the
luck.
outliers that screw you over, and it's a fight from the day you start to the day you walk off.
I mean, we had subs that would ask us in pre-con who the superintendent was going to be. Like
that's a big
you have to name that guy, and when you say the wrong name, they'll go add 15%, add 20% to my number,
or find someone else because that guy.
Or I'm not bidding it. Yeah, that's
I'm not going to bid for that guy.
we had that happen.
We just don't want to work with that guy.
He'll make us fail.
He'll make us
that's
fail,
what he used
or
to
he'll
say.
make our people miserable because he's not pleasant to work with.
Yeah.
That kind of grumpy old superintendent is fading out, and he's not really enjoyed much anymore.
It wasn't enjoyed the first time.
He wasn't. Yeah, no one enjoyed that guy, but everybody accepted it. Now I think people don't accept that they don't tolerate it because our question is, why did things fit? What's the top priorities? That I think that we forgot that one. A really bad top of the whoever the head is. If it's a
It could be the
superintendent, he's your day to day.
Yep.
If he's the project manager, if he's the suit who's driving, whatever, that person can really make your life miserable and have you fail on a job.
Another reason construction projects fail in my mind is just poor communication and dissemination of information in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
Drawings are getting updated, but they're not transmitted. The field doesn't get them. There's no coordination meetings, or they're infrequent at best, and so there's just people are operating on different
The thing that kept
timelines, different expectations.
my
They don't have
biggest
that
anxiety as a project manager was knowing that someone out there in the field was working off the wrong set of drawings, and I didn't know about it. I couldn't figure it out. It
Yeah.
scared me to death.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so contract and whatever, I'd be like, well, when I find them, I'll just make them fix it. Great, that's fine, except we just lost 2 weeks.
And there's
Who
been
cares
two
who's paying
new,
for it at that point? We just lost a lot of time.
yeah, and there's been 2 new versions since then.
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
So now you're
that,
4.
that was always my biggest fear. We were working off the wrong set of drawings.
And as a sub, what was something that always jumped out at me in that whole process is the architect sends out a new set of drawings to the general contractor. Let's call it revision 1,
Mm-hmm.
right? The general contractor gets those drawings and they scrub them. And they sit on them for 3, 5, 7, 10 business days. Then they transmit them to the subs, and the subs now have 10 days, typically 5 to 10 days, to price them up, all the changes, and send them back to the general contractor. The general contractor then has to aggregate all the change order pricing from all the subs, send that back to the owner and the architect for review and approval.
Yeah.
And then they tell us proceed at risk. But we've already lost 20 days at this point. By the time we get our pricing back, it's like, are we pricing and proceeding, or are we waiting on approval?
Yeah.
And even if it's price and proceed, those drawings came out maybe a month ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Now I have to get them to the field, and I have to sit down with the field teams and explain to them what's changed and how much of that work has been done. That change, like what are the changes? That the whole timing
So
and the
that-
duration of these
It's
things
interesting you
stretches
bring-
things out.
It's interesting you bring that up. 2 clients, current clients, over the past, month, we'll say, in separate instances have brought that up specifically of being concerned about liquidated damages or being concerned about some version of we're going to miss the schedule. There's an expectation of finishing. And so we just proceeded on that change. And they're totally at risk. So not even like priced it and went on, just started building it.
Yep, like
No agreement
Let's
of
just
T&M, nothing. And their answer is always, yeah, but liquidated damages, I got to finish on time. I'm like, but there's a procedure. Like you have tools in your contract that you can
you
use.
can ask for more time.
Yeah, there's
That's what your
tools. You
Or
have to
your
manage it.
LDs are $5,000 a day, or whatever the number, pick a number, $2,000 a day, and you're going to do the work for a week, but you lost $50,000 on that change order because you didn't price it and didn't get it signed. I mean, you have to. That's real time, decision.
Yeah, I think that comes down to this feeling of just complete not understanding the contract.
But Jeff, you kind of, to wrap it up,
So,
you kind of named him a few minutes ago.
Yeah, so I in no particular order. Well, there's estimate. You could have a bad estimate. That could be true for the subcontractor or the general contractor.
Sure.
You could have a bad schedule. I suppose that's true too.
Mm-hmm.
You could have
Bad management.
bad management. That could,
Poor communication.
Yep.
And then failure to read or understand or follow the contract and the contract documents would be probably our top 5.
yeah, there's some nuances inside that, but those are good 5 categories. For
Yeah.
sure.
And that's all we have for this episode of Construction Hot Takes. Thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget that you can follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts at Construction Hot Takes. And while you're at it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel too at Ascent Consulting. If you want to drop a thumbs up or comment on your favorite video, that'll go a long way in helping our channel. And lastly, if you want to schedule a call directly with Adam, Greg, or Jeff to talk about problems or challenges facing your own construction companies, you can schedule free consultation calls directly with them on our website, www.ascentconsults.com. Again, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.